Chimay White Tripel.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. This is my third Belgian for the night, and it is the Chimay White Tripel. Now I've tried the other three Chimays, should I say, and they've all been outstanding. I mean, they really are good at what they do. And of course they are a genuine Trappist or Abbey beer, and there is the stamp to prove it. And they have quite a good range of beers. Well, I say quite a good range, that is a fucking understatement. They are absolutely amazing. I'll tell you something, these two are absolutely outstanding. I would say I preferred the blue, but there's nothing in it really, because the pair of them are absolutely amazing. And I tried the Rochefort 8 tonight, and that was the last in the trilogy that I needed to try and review out of the Rochefort, and I think this is the last one out of the Chimay trilogy, and this is their triple ale. And I have to say, I've had the Rochefort tonight. I've had the Marais de Sceaux, that was a blonde. I wasn't really impressed with that. So, as a consolation, I'm going to try this. Now, I've got very high hopes for this, because this, well, the Chimay brand, they're from the Scarmont Abbey, which is based in a place called Chimay in Belgium. They do some fantastic stuff, as I said, and I'd be really, really surprised if this was a bad beer. You know, and as it's got that triple stamp on it, and you know, if you research what they do, the company's ethics as well, they look really good. You know, most of the stuff, as a decent Abbey beer or brewery should be doing, most of the money just goes to, you know, upkeeping or helping to upkeep the Abbey, and the rest they spend on social products to help other people, which I think is a great idea. Now, you know, you can argue about religion and, you know, the existence of God and all that. I'm not going to do that here, right? Because that's a personal thing. If you want to believe in that, that's fine. But you have to take your hat off to these monks and all that who are doing that. You know, they could quite easily, especially with this stuff, they could be making an absolute killing if they went really commercial with it, but they haven't. And they also make a point about saying that they want their stuff to be consumed in moderation. They also do cheese as well, and the cheese is really good as well, apparently. They even do one where the rind is soaked in beer. I mean, cheese and beer, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's heaven, isn't it? But they make a good point about saying that, you know, they want their products to be consumed in moderation. And to be honest, I think if you're going to be brewing beer as good as them two, you're going to have a very fucking tough job with me consuming that shit in moderation, because I will be necking that like it is going out of fashion. Anyway, this is the triple, as I say, and it comes in 330ml. They also do a 75 and 150ml bottle. Now, I don't know about you, but 150ml bottle, and I think I would be well on my way. But that's for another time. So let's stop guessing and let's get this beer investigated. It's a triple, it's 8%, it's 330ml. Ingredients, have we got the ingredients in English? The Trappist logo certifies that the ale is brewed in a Trappist abbey and that the majority of sales income is intended for social aids. Yeah, that's what they say on the site as well. Chimay Tripel stands out thanks to its flavours of hops and fresh yeast. Beer fermented in the bottle. Yeah, so that's pretty much standard with Belgian triples. They go through a double fermentation, you know, the initial fermentation and the fermentation in the bottle, which usually has candy sugar and yeast put into the bottle, so you get a lot of carbonation and you get a higher ABV. Now they make a big thing about the hops in this. I couldn't find out what hops they were using. I'm assuming they're either East Kent Goldings or Hallertau. They're the two most popular hops for Belgian brewers. I mean, they use other hops as well, and some of them even use Belgian hops, which come from the Ypres area, which is in the Flemish part of Belgium, and that's the region that's renowned for hops in Belgium. So I've just taken the dogs out for a walk and I've got a bit of a thirst on, so let's stop gassing and let's get this beer open. Right, cap is off. There's the cap. 2 fleur de lis. I'm assuming that's what they are. Very nice indeed. I thought it was my imagination, but I'm getting some real hop aromas coming from that when I opened it. So let's get it into the glass. Now this glass may be a little bit dirty. I have cleaned it out, but I've been drinking the other 2 beers that I tried, the Rochefort and the Marassu, out of that. So I'm hoping I don't get any cross flavour contamination. Get me. God. That does smell hoppy, like Hallertau. Look at it, I can see that yeast going in there now. Look at that. There it is, that looks absolutely amazing. And that looks like a Belgian triple. Quite light in colour, sort of almost like a Weizen. That orangey, golden hue. Can you see the carbonation in there? Probably not, it's too murky. Lovely head on that though, look at that. One finger, foamy white head. I've just been watching somebody, they were talking about detailing or cleaning Harley Davidson, and they've got something like a foam they put on it, and it looks just like that. Snow foam, they called it. Wow, that smells really nice. Yeasty clove esters on that, spice, banana, pepper, coriander, orange zest. But there's an earthiness to it as well, an earthy hop bitterness, which I'm getting too. And it smells really nice. Let's get it down the hatch. Cheers. Oh, it's lovely. Now, I've just tried the Marassu, which was, I think, 6%. And that was a blonde. And I was quite disappointed in the flavours in that. They weren't too forthcoming on it, but I'll tell you something, on this one, they are there in abundance. Carbonation is there, and you feel that on the mouthfeel as soon as you get it in the mouth. There's a sweetness to it, but it's quite subdued, and that sweetness underneath it, you're getting a little touch of caramel malt, but not a lot. You're getting a slight banana and clove wheat beer type flavour, but then you're getting all the Belgian character. On top of that, the orange zest, the spice, the coriander. But then on the finish, it's quite bitter. It's like a hop bitterness from what I can make out on this. But it's really nice. The whole package goes together really well. Oh, it's really good. Really liking it. No spirit alcohol. Now, I'd be expecting a little touch of spirit alcohol on this, but I'm not seeing that. But I'm not getting that. There's a definite hop bitterness on this, and it comes through on the finish, and it's quite nice. Now, I'll recommend you swirl, if you're drinking triples or anything like that, give it a swirl. That will create a bit more of a head. It will reduce the carbonation, but it'll also give you a hell of a lot more aroma and flavour. And that's what I'm doing now. And the more I do it and drink, the more flavours I'm getting. And it also makes the head nicer. I don't know what it is, but the bubbles in the head, they just sort of even out, and it leaves a very nice head to drink through on that. It leaves the bubbles more tightly packed. And there's a little bit more sweetness on that now. Not a lot, subtle, but it gives it a little touch more sweetness on the finish. But there's still that dry hop finish on the end. It's really nice. This is definitely one to be savoured. It's really complex. There is a lot of flavours going on in this. I'm also getting like a touch of apple on there now. It's not a lot, very subtle, but it's there. Little herbal notes coming through now as well. Do you know, I really do recommend when you've got these really high carbonated triples, and in some cases the doubles as well, you just swirl it round and it evens out the carbonation. Sometimes the carbonation can be quite obtrusive and aggressive, but when you swirl it round, the head becomes bigger. And of course you should be drinking the beer through the head. Certainly a Belgian triple, that should be drunk through a head, but it eases the carbonation. And I think, you know, some people say, oh, you need lots of carbonation to move the flavours around. I think it can get in the way a bit. If it's too overly aggressive and abrasive, it will mask some of the flavours, in my opinion. The subtle flavours, I think it just sort of dominates and doesn't let through. And now from doing that, I'm getting vanilla. I'm getting a touch of vanilla come through there as well. But it's really nice. But again, that hop finish is there, that bitterness on the end, which is quite nice. It mixes with the sweetness that you get from the sugar that's been put in this. I have to say, this is a really nice one. This is a really nice triple. I wouldn't have expected anything less from Chimay though. Chimay really are one of the top Belgian brewers in my opinion. They do some fantastic beer. They don't do many, but the ones that they do are really, really good. And you know, I shouldn't really be comparing the two. It's a bit of an insult really to these Belgian brewers, but I look at some of these craft brewers like Brewdog and Cloudwater. They are fucking pumping out different. I know, and I'm not knocking them for this. This is not having a go at them. I'm all for experimentation. But you look at how many beers they've had. I don't know, you go on, Rate Beer, and you can see the list of beers that they've both had. And it goes on for ages. And this lot, And like the Rochefort, I think Rochefort have had 3. I think these have got 4. And that's it. That's all they do. But the ones that they do are absolutely amazing. And, you know, I know they're 2 different types of brewery, but it just goes to show, if you concentrate on doing something well, it will work for you. Of course, you know, and fucking Brewdog, they're you know, they've got delusions of grandeur of being a multinational company by producing very average beer, in my opinion. I will add, but you know, the outlook from the breweries, that, you know, they you know, Brewdog are encouraging you. I know this is going way off topic and a bit of a tangent. It's probably going to turn into a bit of a rant, but fuck it. Sit down and buckle up. There's going to be some bad language here, right? Brewdog are encouraging you to drink as much as you can of their beer, you know, spend more money, you know, even buy the food and just fucking stuff your faces, get drunk. They want as much money as they can. Chimay and all these, you know, Trappist breweries, the outlook is completely different. They just want enough money to survive, and with the profits, just spend it on social aid and social products and helping other people. And I know religion's got a lot to do with it, and religion and business, you know, the ethics of religion and the ethics of business don't really mix. And this isn't a fucking, you know, I'm not trying to convert you or anything like that. I'm an atheist myself, but that's fucking by the by. But it just goes to show the 2 different outlooks. And to be honest, I'd rather side with Chimay than Brewdog, personally, but there you go. That's just me. This beer, however, is fantastic, and I don't know, I've just been swirling it around as I was speaking. Let's see what other flavours we can get out of this. Wow. Now there is no carbonation in that at all now. I've completely flattened out that carbonation. There's a little more spirit alcohol coming out there now. I wasn't getting that before. That's coming out. There's more of that hot bitterness on the finish. It's subtle, but you can taste it. But there is a sweetness as it goes into the mouth, and it's sweet, a touch of sweet caramel, as I say, sweet banana, bit of clove, coriander, apple, vanilla. There's a little touch of vanilla, and some orange zest as well. Absolutely lovely. I love this beer. This is fantastic. What's the verdict on Chimay White Tripel? Yeah, this is a real good one. And I wouldn't have expected anything less, because the other 2 that I've got there are outstanding beers. And this is a great one as well. And I have to say, as triples go, this is up there with the best of them. It really is. And I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10, because it really is that good. Now, I quite like triples. I do prefer doubles. I like the sweetness and the caramel on the doubles. But I have to say, this is a very, very drinkable triple. So that's a 10 out of 10. And I recommend it. And it is it's nearly 5 to 8 now. We've got Arsenal, and we're probably going to get fucked. I've got another one of these in the fridge, so I'm going to need another 8% beer to get through this game. So, that's a 10 out of 10. I recommend this beer. It is really good. And as I always say, beer is working class champagne.